Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming to Ladies Night. Oh, as I was saying, thank you for coming into Ladies Night. Um, we tonight we will be having the topics of the dangers of swirling, and are we really that fragile? And are they good dudes because they got money? I want to give a shout out to Hassan Burton. I like the picture. I like the suit. Look like you fit to go on a very special date. Thank you for coming, Peace, Love, and Lucy, Belle Mort, and of course the Ebony Star Network, Peace, Power, and Unity, PPU. All right. So the dangers of swirling. Okay, this topic came about because we have some women who they given up on black men, and they figure if they want to find love they're gonna have to go to a man of another community. So they have dated, or they involved, or even married white men, and one of the young ladies got killed by her boyfriend. And it seemed that it has happened several times. So there's concern that that's one of the dangers of swirling. um your man you're gonna be with is gonna be could be very insecure. And of course we know all the stereotypes and the rumor about black men and stuff like that. If he's not secure in himself, he's gonna take it out of you. Even the secure ones get insecure. They gonna question every move you make, every man you talk to. um and eventually it takes their a toll. And if they like, I can't have you, nobody can have you, you gone, because of perceived that you want somebody else, or they feel like you be like other women. You're gonna eventually go back to your group that you grew up with, what you come up with, the person that understands what you're going through, and they don't want to lose that. Yeah. So that was considered one of the dangers of swirling. Now here's one that's a little less known because nobody even takes it to account, or if they do, they go with it. It's the fetishization of the dating with this. Are they with you because they want to be with you? Are they with you because they got some fetish or fantasy about being with a person of your color, of your kind, and vice versa? Are you with this person because you actually into that person, love that person, whatever? Are you into it because they not you? They have another color, or they're another group, mm, and stuff like that. But when a relationship is built on something as flimsy as fetishization, it's not gonna last. And then you're gonna find out that not only are you involved with, have children with, married to somebody who don't know jack about you, who don't even like your people. So if he or she can't like your people, they sure as heck can't like you, because no matter how you paint it, you are who you are. You're a black person. You cannot change that. Even though people have tried to bleach it out, rich it out, all kind of ways, to be not what they are. And you're gonna find out the hard way. And the children will suffer, you will suffer. Because if you're lucky, they leave and you got the kids, and they're going away. If you get a really cold, heartless one, gonna take the kids, abuse the kids, and there's nothing you can do about it. Hmm. Or they're gonna be, or they're gonna find themselves a little confused about who they are. But I'm getting off into the areas. Okay. Um. Another thing. I think about with swirling. Okay, most of the time when I see swirling of anything, either something is mixing it or it's going down the drain hard and fast. And some of the increase in swirling seem to be being made. Okay, you can't look at the TV, you can't look at advertising without some um uh 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 a swirling couple or interracial family. I ain't saying like they're not there, but dang it, they are to the no other. It's like every time I turn around, interracial couple, interracial couple, interracial couple, interracial couple. Okay, we got more than just interracial couples in the world. So I'm feeling like it's kind of being forced. It's being made to swirl, made to mix. So we become desensitized and, normalize it and stuff like that. When, okay, yes, some people were looked at sideways when they got involved. But if that relationship is really that important to you, you know the realities of the world. You're not into some fantasy land. That's the difference between some of this swirling. You got this little fantasy world going on, where everything's gonna be perfect, or he loves me because his family's racist and he's not like that, or she loves me, her family's racist, she not like that. Really? Okay, okay, maybe. But I think it's a good chance. Oh, if they outright got some bias, um, or do they use the term "you not like the others" and stuff like that? You one of the good ones. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, the link. Alrighty. Okay, okay. Let me do it this way. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's see. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Come on. Come on. Yeah, so come on. Open up. All right. All right. All right, it's in there. Okay, can y'all still hear me? All right. Yes, Hassan, been there, done that. Guess the grass is not green on the other side. These women are not better lovers. They're not better mothers, and they damn sure can't cook. I should have just clicked on it. All right. Yeah. So
Can
yeah.
you hear me, Dan?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, let me say something on the subject real quick. What's going on, everybody? Peace, power, and unity. Shout out to the strong peoples in the chat of St. Burton, Belmore. You know, a lot of this stuff happens because people don't take their time courting anymore. See, courting works with any race of people that you're with. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you go through the courting process, you can find things out about people. See, you end up with a lunatic because you didn't take your time courting and vetting this person. You know, that's how that happens. See, we're getting caught up too much in looks We're getting caught up too much in sex appeal, and that's by design. Everything you look is hypersexual now. Hell, it's gotten to the point where you don't know who's who anymore. I think today I must have seen what 20 androgynous people. Androgynous people. 20. I didn't see hardly any of them before. Now I'm starting to see them everywhere. Okay, and so this over hypersexualized society that we live in causes you to make mistakes when you're dating. You get so caught up in the physical attraction of other people, you forget about the mental, you forget about the emotional. This is how you end up dead when you make the mistake and be with someone who's mentally and emotionally unbalanced because you didn't take the time to court or vet this person. And so, don't get me wrong, I'm no champion of swirling, but courting and vetting works no matter who you're with. Take your time to court the person. Take your time to vet the person. Find out what the hell is going on in this person's background. Take your time. And you'll see these things, pay attention to weird things that people do. Nowadays, you have to pay attention to everything. I mean, if somebody drinks 2 bottles of soda, right, in 10 seconds, you need to jot that down as a red flag. Something wrong with that person. I don't care what little out of the way thing, you need to notice everything. Because right now people are freaking out over the smallest things now. I'm sending people over the edge. So if you see something abnormal or unusual, you need to red flag that. Okay? Hello?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, everybody is about jumping into the bed, not courting, not getting to know, another important part of it is getting to know the family. Yeah, yeah. If the family has the issue, and the family grew up with this, that's a flag. You should really reconsider, and look even deeper. Why are they with me if their family is like this?
Yeah, you know what? That's another thing. If the person you're with seems to be okay, but this family is crazy, I mean, you got to make a decision. I mean, I would leave her if I was dating a woman and I went and met her family and found out that her family was crazy. I would break up with her because she come from that. She may not be acting crazy now, but eventually it's gonna show. It's gonna show up somewhere because she comes from that. That's in her blood. It runs in her family. They're all out to lunch. They all have flown the cuckoo's nest. Okay, so eventually she's going to fly the cuckoo's nest too, at some point. So if I go in and meet her, find out that her family are absolutely off of her rocker, it won't be. It's just a matter of time before she slides off of hers. So I'm breaking up with her. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. But
Why you take so long to respond? Is there a delay?
yes. Okay. As I was saying, it's especially important with if you gonna swear, you better really get to know their family and don't go by what they say to you, because of course we are not like that. No. Go by how they act, what they do when they're not around you.
Let me ask you a question. What is he telling you that they're like that?
They telling you they like that?
Yeah, well, yeah. What if the person telling you, look, we're gonna meet my family, but I warn you, my family is crazy.
Okay. So if their family is crazy, are they racist?
Both crazy and racist.
Gotta get away from that.
I'm telling you, I'm
You
telling
gotta
you right
get.
now that if the person comes from a crazy family, I'm out. If she comes from a crazy family, it's just a matter of time before she go crazy too. You just putting on a show. He may not be crazy now because he's just trying to get you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that crazy is coming out somewhere because it runs deep in her family. It's in her blood. So she take me to meet her family. I find out that they nutcases. I'm out because she's a nutcase too.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eventually, that's going to show. I'm telling you, it's going to show up.
Mhm.
Especially if y'all go through some hard times, right? Or this situation, and the person goes back and talks to their family.
Mhm.
Family gonna be on some. Well, maybe when nobody's looking, you should push him out the window. Start getting these crazy ideas put in their head by a family, right? You start thinking about it. Am I still delayed?
I'm here. I'm here. All
Are you
right.
doing something?
No.
Am I being delayed or something?
No. I wonder how much my noise cancellation is working. Yeah. So, yeah. But what I was yeah. Yeah, crazy is one of the things to worry about, but when you're swirling, you got the extra crazy that they're racist on the underside, or they got their biases, or they just not going to understand, and they're going to be trying to persuade you that what you've seen and what's going
Okay.
on ain't what's going on.
Okay. Here's my issue with the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
If you with a white woman or a white man, you already know that they don't identify with black people. You already know that they think you're a nigga. If you don't know that, then something wrong with you.
You're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Okay, you went in there on some, well, I think she's different. I mean, she white, but she not a cracker. You know what I'm saying? And then
Sound like something I
she's
heard before.
mad. Yeah, she called you a nigga, and then you're gonna try to make excuses for it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Look, I believe in genetics. If it's in the family, it's in her too. Or it's in him too. If it's in the family, it's in him too. It's in her too.
Okay. Okay. Okay, what about those
Where's
that
Lucy? Did
said,
you send
but
Lucy the
she
link?
had my baby?
You,
She can't be racist.
she what?
What about the ones that be going, but she had sex with me. She had my
Oh,
baby. She can't be racist. Because her
you
children
talking
are
about a
black.
talking about a white woman?
Yeah, that's the one I usually hear that from.
Well, white women don't have sex with anything. That don't mean nothing. They have sex with animals and kin dolls and horses and sheep and billy goats and they have sex with anything. Don't mean nothing. Having a baby with a black man is no different than having a puppy. They don't care nothing about that. That don't mean anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, what about
Sure, if she had a baby, you better be grateful it's a human. Shit.
Okay. All right.
You got one of the lucky ones.
Okay. Okay. Well, what about the black woman that's with the white man? Can he still be racist and have kids with her? Won't that mean
Yeah.
his kids?
Yeah, he start calling her that nigga B.
Well, what he gonna call his kids?
Nigga B. Niggas.
Okay, now you with a man that's calling you and the children
If
that
it's
name.
one,
You gotta get away
if
from
it's
him.
one child, it's gonna be called nigga. If it's two children, it's gonna be called nigga one, nigga two. If it's three children, it's gonna be called nigga one, nigga two, and nigga three.
Uh-huh.
And if you have it mixed, his or her name gonna be nigga Charlie.
Okay.
All right. Right. Nigga one, nigga two. If it's three children, it's gonna be called nigga one, nigga three. If you have a mixed child, it's gonna be nigga Charlie. Her name gonna be nigga Charlie. All right.
Hey
Hey, who
y'all.
just came up?
Hey,
Oh.
Bill.
Oh. That's my cue to skedaddle, y'all. Y'all
Y'all
ladies have a
crazy.
good night. Y'all ladies have a good night.
Yeah. I tried it. It don't go well. It don't go well.
Yeah, from what I heard and observed, and even been told by some of the white boys themselves. Nope, I was not dating them. They were just talking to me. I think they was
Yeah.
trying to get me to date them. I don't know. But one of them said, nah, it made him too insecure because he kept wondering if uh-huh if he measured up.
Mm.
And he's always worried that any guy she talked to was gonna be the one that she leave him for. She leave him for. So
Yeah, it definitely makes no difference whether they date you or what, man or woman. They can still be racist. Definitely can.
yeah.
I know
So
that by experience. Some people tend to just go ahead and ignore that shit. Not me.
mhm,
Not me. That's when, yep, it's done. When I find out, I found out those times they had racist leanings or their family was racist. Nope. Then I was like, yep, this is just not the way to go. It's just not
mhm,
for me.
yeah. Yeah. So it makes me wonder about those that ignore all the warning signs. I mean, some of them is clear as day, and still they going, no, she's not like that. No, he's not like that. No, he loves me. She loves me. It's like, okay, y'all, some confused mess. They don't want to admit it that it was just a fetish. They was curious about you. You was curious about them. Okay, now that you got over that phase, you gonna try to build a relationship out of it, or nobody wants to admit that's what it is.
Now I got a brother-in-law
Mm-hmm,
that's white, and him and my sister have been together for like almost 20 years.
mm-hmm,
He's an exception. His family, I guess they grew up around, black
mm-hmm,
people. They didn't really have that much money. When his best friend was a black dude, and all that stuff. And I don't know if that made a difference or whatever, but his family and my family was always together on the holidays and stuff. His mom was a single mom and all that stuff. And so, I mean, it was kind of okay. But as far as that's the only person that I've seen that was pretty kind of cool.
mm-hmm.
Usually they have kind of that's probably an exception to the rule. It's not always like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and from what I've seen, it's really a difficult situation. The kids end up conflicted and things like that. And
And that's for the good one.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's one of he's. I guess he's one of the good white people. It's like they said, you. He's not like the other white people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting too personal. That's your brother-in-law. But yeah. But not all the time. There's there's not that. I call it the school friends thing. Yeah, they see each other at school and stuff like that. But that constant being in the neighborhood, you come to my house for the holidays, I go to your house for the holidays. None of that. I see a bunch of people that have those type of friends, and then they want to say, "Oh, he's cool. He's down with a." No, he's not. You don't see him except in school or at work or at the job. Okay,
Yeah.
occasionally, if there's an emergency, he might bring you to your house. You might bring him to his house, but there's no mingling for the holidays, no get-togethers. Nah. Uh-huh. Or in some of them churches, now a lot of these non-denominational churches they got both groups in there, and they try to be down, but I feel like it's forced sometimes. It's either going to happen naturally or it's not. So even though they're all in church together, trust me, they got their sides. I can see it. When
Well, I grew up going to a church like that. I grew up going to, and that's all we were taught. And so everybody was mixing in that congregation and everything like that. But I still noticed that overall, most of the people still stood with their own race of person. So even though there were a lot that were mixing, most of them still, regardless of what they were taught, stayed with their own race. And what amazes me is that when you meet people on the street as you're young, you think, the times have changed and everybody has been with everybody. And like I was saying, what amazes me is that some people, even though they hear racist stuff, they still ignore it or whatever. It's not necessarily red flags, it's outright racism. And just because they're with that person, they ignore the stuff, which I never could do. So saying things they just ignore it because they're with that person, or they let them get away with stuff, just like these people, have this rationale that, oh, well, I got mixed kids, so I can say the N-word.
The hell you can't. You can't. You definitely shouldn't say that. Yeah,
Don't
like they're
say
looking
around
for
me unless
excuses.
you want to get punched in the mouth. I mean, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's what I was reading on. I was reading on something like that, where the article is like, okay, they observe, because even in their own relationship, that some of these people, their racism show up, that because they are friends, sleeping with, married to, living with a person of the other ethnic group, that gives them permission to either say the N-word, or they understand what's really going on, and there's no way they can understand it because they don't really endure it like that.
Yeah. But I'd be like, I can't hang around people like that, because I've been around, say, some of my cousins or whatever, and they had like, white girlfriends or stuff, like back in the day, and then they all this N-word, that N, that. I'm like, they trying to make me catch case. They trying to make me go to jail. I gotta go. And then they'll ask why I leave, and I would tell my cousin, I can't be hearing that stuff. I don't see how y'all allow that. I don't care what she is or what kids y'all got, but no, she ain't one of us, and will never be.
Yeah.
If her kids, want to identify as solely as a black person, I can even accept that. But she ain't one.
Nope. Her kids could be more so than she could, because they're not going to be accepted in the white community. They can be accepted in the black community, and have been accepted in the black community. Yeah. In fact, I've seen one more recently. Her and her mom don't get along. Couldn't get along. Something about when she turned into a teenager, her and her mom was bumping heads. That's the other aspect of it. So her grandmother, who's actually her stepdad's mother, took her in.
Yeah.
That girl blossomed. She blossomed in the Black community. She was accepted. Okay, in the beginning, she was kind of angry, but she got, accepted. She got her friends. She fits right in. Okay, she did a little cutting up in school, but grandmother pulled on them curtails and shocked the heck out of her coming to school and threatened to whip her in the principal office. But yeah, but she realized that unlike her mom, grandma was serious.
Well, I work with a young girl. She was in her 20s, and only half my age, and she was engaged, and she was telling me about how she's biracial, and she was telling me about how her mom just seemed like she hated her, and she especially, I mean, she never even really talked to her, didn't get along with her after a while, and she's engaged and living with her fiance. They're probably married by now because I don't work there no more, but her fiance was a black guy, and I'm sure her mom was really upset about that. So she identified more with black people for some reason, even though I don't think her dad was much around, but her mom just saw something in her that she did not like. And so she ended up gravitating more toward black people. And, engaged to a handsome black guy. And apparently her mom didn't like that. So that shows you their mentality, They don't mind having the biracial kids, but they don't want them to be black identified. So that shows you that they are just almost, you might as well say innately racist, I don't care who you're sleeping with, that sure didn't take away that racism, So,
and probably made it stirred up even worse if the dad wasn't in her life. So that means he left. So so that just upped the ante. If she was trying to lean away from it, okay, dude left me with a child raised by myself. Oh, it gotta be because he's black. So now let's hate all black people. But a couple of people I know who are social workers, they said that in the foster care or the group homes, there's a large percentage of mixed race kids. The girls go first. She's seen one situation where a woman had a girl and a boy. Girl hit puberty. The mom started bumping heads with her, and then gave her up to the foster care system. Said I can't do anything with her, but kept the boy. And then when the boy got older, and he got out of control. She couldn't handle him. She put him in the foster care system.
Wow. I heard it was like that a lot in Britain too. That a lot of those biracial kids are in foster care. And think about how they have to be so messed up. I feel sorry for them because they have they don't know where, they fit in. And, and it is really sad. It's like they feel like so unwanted by either race. And I mean, I know that's the whole, stereotypical tragic mulatto thing or whatever, but it's actually true. And to be rejected by your mom. And I noticed that it's not the black moms that do that.
No.
They actually probably praise those children even more, and they don't turn out as messed up. Now they can still have a disdain for black people, but they have at least some sense of self or some kind of sense of self-worth when they are with a black mother. And that's, I mean, that's odd. What does that tell you? That you at least fit in somewhere. That's why we see a lot of these biracial children. They may date black people or whatever if they have a black mom and they feel like they're more black or whatever. I've seen some women like that on YouTube. And But having a white mom, it seems like they tend to be more conflicted in their identity.
Or confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If their mom keeps them, they feel conflicted because their mom is white, but they're not white, but
Yeah.
they not black neither. And
Right.
if they claim black, are they showing disdain for the mother that loved them? And if they choose white, are they in disdain for the black side? But then the white community is not going to accept them as white. Yeah, your mama will say
Yeah.
you're white, but not the rest of the white society.
Yeah.
Unless you just really don't look it, and even then, some of them they know what to look for. They're gonna look at you sideways. hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's pretty sad, the situation. And and they in the past, when even white folks spoke on miscegenation and said that the kids came out confused, people were up in arms about that, but it's actually true. And black people have, psychologists and sociologists and, have spoke on this as well. And it's actually true. I mean, you can't be mad at what is. And it's
Mhm.
been proven. And the kids would tell you that themselves. So I don't see why people get up in arms about it. It's actually true. There is a sense of confusion there because they don't know where they belong.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess that's why a long time ago they in Louisiana there's whole towns of mulatto people.
Oh yeah,
You
I've
say
heard
a
of that.
town,
Still
you say
today.
a town, they know. Or my people are from such and such town. It's like, oh yeah, we know. But you're black, but you also, you know, different shade,
Right.
Uh huh.
I saw
And
a documentary about that kind of recently too. That still exists today. I forget
oh
what
yeah.
town it is, but yeah, it's just a whole town, and everybody in town is pretty much just like a mixed race person.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them look more Caucasian, and some of them look more black or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but they still, are all mixed up in
Mm-hmm.
that town. And I'm like, wow, that's really I never knew about something like that existing, but I mean it would make sense.
Yeah. So it's probably gonna happen again over time. Hey, the mixed up people are going to conjugate to the mixed up people, and then they going who because nobody's gonna really understand you but another mixed up person.
Right.
Just like nobody's gonna really understand you as well as a black person
Right.
or the white and the white. There's a reason why we kind of conjugate to our group because even though we could be whole states away, group, entirely different environment, you will see black people will go to black. They'll because they're more comfortable. I know they kind of know what I'm going. Me in a way. We all have a certain level of the things we experience together. Maybe slightly different here and there, but basically the same. Same thing with the white. So it's gonna happen with the mixed people.
Well, yeah, you can identify. I mean, just your upbringing, certain things, everything, cooking,
hmm
the music you might listen to or whatever, or what you grew up, doing. You can just identify with that stuff because a lot of black people have similar experiences, if not the same. And the
Yeah.
same with white people. They have like the same kind of upbringing. Because there's cultures within cultures in
hmm
America. It's
Yeah.
not just the American culture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's understandable. I don't knock anybody for that.
hmm Yep, that's true. That's true. Yeah. And yeah, and even though when we start going into the diaspora, okay, yes, There we had different growing up, but if you dig deep enough and find the right thing to talk about, you find that you have more in common with the rest of the diaspora than you think you do. Just because they
Oh
talk
yeah.
different or their environment was different from what you grew up, if you look deep enough, you will find the common thread.
Mhm.
Usually it's around food. Most of the time it's around food, but that's what I found. We start finding out, that the foods I grew up eating with, they kind of grew up eating it too, just that we cook it differently. That's all.
Yeah, even in the Afro Latino communities, they have very similar. I learned that from dealing with them personally.
Hmm.
It's like, the way their mothers are to them, the way their mother say things or talk to them or, behave, or if they
Hmm.
do something, the way their mother responds or their father responds, is just like our parents.
Hmm.
So they might speak a different language and they might come from a different culture, but I think due to that genetic memory of our African ancestors, we tend to behave very similarly. And it's just amazing, like you said, when you look deeply, it's very similar.
Yeah. So, okay, so I think we kind of worn out the topic, the dangers of swirling, because I think we just wandered into a whole nother area. But be
Well, I
careful.
mean, as far as the dangers, I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's probably the psychological damage that can occur,
Mhm.
physical harm that could come to you,
Mhm.
um, catching uh, legal cases. I mean, that can happen too as well.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's what happened to me. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And then leave one of them. They gonna make me kill them.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Oh, okay. Or
that's
or if, or
that's
if
those are
or or say
things.
you involved and you thinking that you having a relationship and then you find out no, you just a body.
Ugh.
You can get your feelings hurt, so you gonna get your heart broken, stomp on, and stuff like that. That is that. Or do they feel for you the way you feel for them? Do they see you as a love interest, or they just see you for a body, or to satisfy some kind of curiosity or fantasy?
Right. And I know some people men and women are okay with being fetishized, but yeah, it just seems like, well, I mean, what's going to happen in the end though? If
Yeah.
you're just a fetish, what if they develop a new fetish? Then what
Yeah.
happens?
Mm-hmm. Oh well, you're gonna
Um,
get your heart broken.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't stick around to find out. That would be that would be my advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, be careful if you're going to go to the other side. Trust me, the other side ain't greener. It might actually be nastier because the other side could be full of bull crap. I'm trying to watch my language, but you know the word I'm saying. Because, sometimes when the field is green on the other side, that's because they fertilize it full of bull manure. And you're going to need to watch where you're stepping.
Right.
All right. Okay. So the next topic is, are we really that fragile? How this topic came about is, okay, lately, noticing that we can't seem to disagree without getting upset, um getting our feelings hurt or getting all emotional about it, especially when there's a difference of opinion or a different view or stuff like that. That because somebody disagrees, you're you're upset, you're mad, and you're no longer talking because you're hurt because they disagree with you. And it seemed to have been happening over and over and over again, and it's been happening a lot. It seemed like if you look around lately, sometimes it starts with starts an argument is that they have a difference of opinion, or or they saying that they believe your facts is incorrect, and here it is. But sometimes I don't get that far because it just disintegrates into an argument. Like the person is personally attacking you when they just disagreeing with you. So it's like, are we really that fragile that we can get our feelings hurt that easily, or that we can get caught up in an argument over an opinion? So so are we just that fragile that we can't disagree on on something and talk about it, and just even leave it at, okay, this is my opinion, that's your opinion, and we're not gonna change each other's mind. Let's just leave it at that and move along. But sometimes one person's willing to let it be like that, and another person ain't, and then it descends into name calling. How did an opinion over something got turned into name calling? It's an opinion.
Yeah, well, I just think people sometimes are not able to properly express themselves, or have not learned how to uh, disseminate truth or facts from opinion. They say opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. I mean, everybody has their own opinion. Or their opinion might be similar to somebody else's, but you can't knock somebody's opinion or be mad because they have one. And now, if they try to tell you something is a fact, and you have proof to dispel that, then you can go ahead and argue. But still, it shouldn't disintegrate into name calling. That's pretty childish. It's unseemly. And if you're on a public platform where anybody can just tune in, that really makes you look uncouth, and uncivilized. You can't have a conversation without it devolving into a fierce argument.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to jump in on that topic too. You guys hear me?
Uh-huh.
I think it's
Yeah, I
even
can hear
worse
you.
than I think it's even worse than name calling. I think it's something about us that's just broken. We can't forgive each other. We can't let go. Somebody do one thing to us, it lasts forever. We take it to the grave. I've been in similar situations with people to where one thing is said or one thing went wrong and everything collapsed. They're willing to throw away everything just over that one small minor thing. And it kind of makes me wonder, I mean, have we gotten that emotionally fragile to where any little tiny thing can cause us to just drop whatever we're doing or collapse an entire project because we hate what happened and we hate the person it happened with and we hate that person and just can't let it go. I mean, I
Well,
see this a lot and it goes on and on and on. Go ahead.
well, Max, I think that not to excuse anything, but being in the predicament that we are in as Black people, I think this makes us emotionally fragile as it is. You want to have a semblance of control over something. That's the thing. So if you
Hmm.
feel like you can't even at least win an argument, then all is lost. I even experienced this with my family. I have talked to, you know, a couple of my sisters, and we got in an argument, and I didn't hear from them for months. And I'm like, wow, you know, I'm able to just say, you know, the next day, text or whatever and say, hey, you know, ask them about something. Oh, they won't even reply. I'm like, wow, because I'm like the kind of person like, I'm done with it. Once the argument is over, it's done.
Yeah.
But not so with them. I'm like, man, ain't this some bullshit? Like, won't even reply to a message or whatever. I'm like, wow, I thought we had the argument was over. But I think us as Black people, we have learned, a lot of us, just to take things so deeply, you know, just to internalize things so deeply, because it's just like a feeling of that we lack control in other areas of our life. That's what I'm thinking. So that you want to be able to control something. And if you can't control that, you just pissed off, you're mad, and you blow up and you hate that person forever, and now they're your mortal enemy. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's sad. I agree with that too. And that's sad that that's where we're at. But unfortunately, we are there in a lot of areas with a lot of Black people, especially the Black men. I mean, I think another thing about the Black men is that their hatred is misplaced, right? Because they can't get back at the person that's really doing all of the damage. Then they misplace the hatred. They place it on Black women, they place it on each other, place it on other Black people. You know, when that can all be resolved, if you would just fight back the white people that are doing this to you, and you know, that'll change that. But we can't get that. You know, that's makes too much sense, right?
I completely agree. The anger is totally misplaced.
Right.
And people can't, you know, if you can't diagnose yourself or what's wrong with you, then you need to seek some professional help or talk to somebody who has some insight on this stuff. Why not? You know, it makes life much easier. It really does.
You know, I didn't want to. Okay, I know it's ladies' night, but it's kind of hard for me not to say something about my so-called brethren. You know, when you're picking fights with women, you're trying to bully women, and you don't have any shame. Like, you don't feel like a coward. You don't feel shameful. You feel manly when you're bullying women, when you're bullying the so-called weaker sex. You know, that goes to show you how pathetic and how weak we as Black men have become. You know, and that's just the bottom line. I mean, we're just extremely weak. You know, I never thought I'd see the day where we just have a bunch of men just picking on women. In my day, that was called coward. And it was a shameful thing to be. A coward was a shameful thing to be. Now it seems to be an honorable thing. Okay, but, you know, I digress. But just saying this before I get off is that, you know,
yeah, well, I guess it's just a feeling of being utterly powerless, and so you have to grab the power wherever you can get it. You know, if you want to look at it from a psychological standpoint, you feel powerless in one area, so you feel like you're going to have power in another, even if it means stepping on somebody that's considered weaker than you or less defenseless than you. It just makes them feel like they have, you know, some sort of a victory, I guess, when all you're taking is losses left and right. What do you have to say, Dave?
I think it, yeah, you're quite right, but I also think it's this, because we have to, we can't say what we want to say, or how we want to say it, and we have to go through through the day not being able to express, you know, stuff like anger, rage, all them ugly emotions and stuff like that. and we don't get to tell people off that we want to tell off and stuff like that. So when we in a discussion and somebody say something that piss you off because they not you're not where it can come back to get you, so to say, the safe space of behind the computer screen. You want to have the last word. You volcano it, throw up all this emotion into that situation when it didn't even call for it, But because you've been holding it in so long, it just exploded out. It's like a gas buildup in a fire, and you prick that or you punch a hole in, and the air comes in, and whoosh, that backdraft blows out, and you decimating everything that's in your way.
Well, that's what I meant by powerless, because they want to impress these other folks so much that and they don't want to be seen as divisive or racist, so they can't express their feelings when they're around them. But they know nothing's going to happen if they lash out against us. So if you can't have power in one area or feel like you're lording it over somebody, then you can do it in the area where nobody's going to care. Nobody cares if you lash out against other Black people. Matter of fact, they praise it. If you so-called quote unquote put us in our place, people praise that. But if you do it to them, they're going to be called to the carpet for it and penalized in some sort, whether it be losing a job, whatever. It's going to happen to you, but nothing's going to happen if you do it to us. So they grab that moment to do it and express their frustrations, and then they can feel like a big man or a big woman. They really did something to somebody, and I guess they can go and have a good night's sleep. I don't know. I don't know like that.
Yeah, and we're guilty. Well, I'm gonna just speak for myself. I'm guilty for him, and another one. Not necessarily the lashing I get. No, my thing is, you ever seen people double dutch and they waiting to get into the jump? They waiting for just the right time to jump in. Unfortunately, sometimes I be like that, Or if I'm talking and I have to pause because somebody else coming in, I be in that moment where I'm waiting to jump back into the rope. And I've been called on the carpet about that, because that means you're not really listening. All you're thinking about is getting back in to say what you wanted to say. And you're not listening to what the other person's saying, because I see arguments where the people agree with each other. Right. And it did not make any sense whatsoever.
But they're arguing about how they agree. I'm like, come on, really? Yeah, we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if the other person had to pause for a moment, and they just in that waiting moment, waiting to jump back in, and they're not really hearing that what the other person's saying. And so they just jump in, and they jumped in where they left off at, where that person might have left off at, not really listening to them. They just like listened to a small piece, and that person took a breath, and they jumped in, both feet forward, and got into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I don't know if other people see it this way, but I'm an extreme extrovert. Okay, so if I don't speak my mind or whatever, then I almost feel physically sick, if I don't get out what I have to say. But I do that actually in my everyday life, at work, whatever. I have to say it in some form or another if I'm upset about something. And these people know this at my job, and they know I'm going to get off my chest what I have to say. So then when I deal with my people, I'm not coming at them in some kind of off way. So I feel like when I get all of that out, then I deal with my people. It should be a reprieve from all that. But as I started listening and getting on chats and stuff in YouTube, I'm like, all they're doing is arguing, and it's always one person against another, one gender against another, whatever. And I have to just shut it off sometimes because this is supposed to be, in my opinion, like a safe haven for us in this quote unquote black sector of YouTube. But it's the extreme opposite, and it's very disheartening. But you know, I don't feel the need to argue with anybody. I don't want to argue with anybody. I'm feeling, I thought, I'm gonna get on there. It's gonna be other black folks I get to congregate with. It's gonna be this kumbaya moment. None of that happened, and I was very disappointed. And some areas it did. Like here, on this channel, we can get together and laugh and be kind and considerate to each other, but in a lot of areas it's not that way. And I got my bubble burst real quick. and I'm not really a big social media person, so it just kind of discourages me more from reaching out to anybody on social media. It doesn't encourage it at all. But yeah, I do see what you're saying about, wanting to get your word in and you have to make your point. And some people are like that. They have to make their point, even though they just said what the other person said. I witnessed that so many times. I'm like, man, they just said the same thing. You really had to say it for yourself just to make the same point. But I guess everybody in the end wants to be heard. So it is what it is, I guess.
I think we kind of like Monique. Monique did a routine. She was talking about when the man and the woman get an argument, the difference between a black couple and a white couple, and stuff like that. And she said on the black couple, if the man leaves before the woman can get all she say out, she gonna come to the job and go off on him on the job, cause the man to lose the job, to be unable to go back to work because of the scene she caused. And I'm wondering if we're like that. We are so determined to get our last word in. We're not caring how it looks out there. We're not caring how it speaks about us. We just want to get our word out. Get our words in. Finish what we were saying.
That's completely silly. I wish somebody would come up to my job, because if I'm gonna because you can get fired for that stuff, like you said. If I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna go to jail too. I might as well go big or go home, since they're gonna come up to my job and do that stuff. But yeah, it does seem that way, that people want to get, regardless of the cost, to anybody and everybody, they want to get their word in. And like we were talking about before in the back chat, I feel when I hear a lot of this arguing and stuff online, I feel like secondhand embarrassment. It's not me up there. I'm not involved in the conversation, but I feel embarrassed secondhand because, as I stated earlier, anybody can tune in. It's not private or anything. Anybody can just jump on and see us up here acting like fools and arguing. And it's really, it just, like I said, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. They already want to call us animals, and then we want to get up here and act like we can't speak to each other civilly. And, anybody can take that how they want to take it, but it's just how I feel. I just usually get off. I feel so embarrassed. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I just don't even want to listen no more, because it's terrible. And, the stuff, again, you don't hear anybody else but our people doing this stuff. We can't stay on code. They stay on code. They're not going to bash each other where everybody else can see it. They're not going to do that at all.
Yeah.
That stuff is supposed to stay in the family. That's supposed you don't let everybody hear that stuff. But apparently, maybe some of us were raised differently.
Yeah. There's some of us that been gotten too used to watching train wrecks and accidents and follow the fire truck to the disaster. There was a neighbor in a well, not a neighbor, lady in a neighborhood. Ooh, she knew all the dirt, knew all the gossip. Fire truck goes by, she's getting in her car to follow the fire truck to see where the fire's at. We've seen accidents almost happen because people are too busy watching looking at the car wreck to see the wreckage, to see if anybody got hurt, to be nosy, to see if the police who's in the accident, all that other stuff. They got to turn for it, rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in the accident, but they want to see it.
And Bro Speak is right. I hear other people calling our own people animals. That kind of stuff. Who does that? Who does that? Repeating white supremacist talking points to your own people. In front where other people can hear it, and they can probably sit back and chuckle and yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
We got them. More allies for us. It's stupid.
Sometimes they even shock the pink people. Even shock them. Like, what the heck? Did he just call his? Oh my goodness! I can't believe this.
Yes, it's really embarrassing, and that's what I think about every time I hear that stuff. I'm like, oh, think about everybody else that could be listening or who could view these videos. I'm like, wow, ooh, this is terrible. This is terrible. This sounds really bad. I'm just gonna go now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you
watch cat videos now.
People all gleeful that you're talking about each other like that, or saying these stuff, or attacking each other like that. I'm like, dang, that's messed up. I didn't think it was gonna be all that. I just figured they was gonna have some words and have a fist fight. Oh my goodness!
Right.
Calling them names. Ooh, I got giving them new names to give us.
Yeah, it's not a fist fight. They pulling out guns in their fist fight, metaphorically. They pulling out guns and knives for this fight. Is pulling all the punches.
Mm-hmm.
They just a minor disagreement.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on to get out of the double Dutch mode if I have to pause in the middle of a conversation. I feel it sometimes. I can actually feel myself in the little nodding motion, just waiting for the person to take a breath so I can jump back in. And I said, okay, I got to stop that. Slow that, roll it back, calm down, listen to what they're saying. But I had friends call it out on me. Did you just hear what I just said? Yeah. I was like, you just wanted to finish what you were saying. Okay, go ahead, say it, get it over with. I had a friend I ain't seen for a while, and came over. I was helping her out, and we just talking away. And I did it with her. I ain't talked to her in a long while. You figure I'd be all in her conversation and stuff like that. But because I had to pause in the middle of what I was saying, because she wanted to tell me something before she forget it, I was in that double Dutch mode, waiting to get in jump in. I was like, okay, I got a problem.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people have not learned the art of conversation. Like you said, it's kind of like this double Dutch mode where you just try to jump in and interrupt. And there's ways to do that. I mean, there's ways to say, excuse me, can I interject for a second? Or if you disagree with somebody, say, you know what, I have to respectfully disagree with that, but in my opinion, yada yada yada. There's ways to do this, or I appreciate your point there, but in this instance, there's ways to do this. You don't have to be going at people in the way that some of these people do and result to name calling. It's just totally unnecessary. It makes you look like a fool, a buffoon, and like you're not really there to have a conversation. Like you're there to just force your opinion on others. That's what it looks like. But yeah, and then when you hear that or you're involved with that constantly on a platform such as this one, it can seep into your everyday life, like you just talked about. You see yourself doing that offline as well. And we definitely don't want that to happen, because in real life, stuff might not turn out like it does online. You might not get the same result.
Yeah, so I don't think we just need a gent culture lesson to teach the younger men about gentlemen. I think we need to have a conversational manners lesson. I wonder if we had tuned out our elders. Okay, I've tuned out my elders sometimes when they correct your speech and stuff like that, and the way you talk. It wasn't just correction just to make you sound proper. It's the proper way to disagree, to break into a conversation, to answer a question you disagree with, or deal with somebody that's giving some wrongful information, and
right. Yeah, there's a way, and also part of a conversation is listening. People seem to forget that part, because I noticed too that people will hear. It seems like they pick out certain things here and there to hear. They'll tell you, "Oh, well, you said this," but they don't repeat the exact sentence. They don't say exactly what was said. They only hear certain parts that must have jumped out at them and hit them. And they get just totally offended. It's like, you didn't hear every single thing that person said. And that's frustrating too, just even listening to that. It's like, man, you're only talking about the parts that offended you. And that's what's causing the argument. You're not looking at the overall comment or answer to a question that was posed. But listening is a big key too. People just do not listen completely before they jump in and start, going in like a raging bull and running through the panel. And it just shows how we do not have our emotions in check as a whole. You just can't listen and just comment on the exact comment that was made or on the question that was posed.
Yeah, I think, or maybe like Pretty Black Magic was saying, people are going in there looking to fight. So that's why they listen specifically for those words, so they can have excuse to be triggered.
Right.
Or because they want to be triggered. You can get cursed out and not be triggered by the curse words if you don't choose to be, but if you're looking for a reason to go off, you can choose something as something mild as peace. I seen a fight with peace. What you mean peace? Peace of what? the person is saying peace as in God, goodbye,
Yeah.
P-E-A-C-E, and they say, you want a piece of me? Come on. I'm like, you can't be serious. For real, I think you're looking for an excuse for to fight.
Right. You can't have a productive conversation if you have selective hearing. You know, that's like telling some woman, "Oh, you're beautiful," if you didn't have that big forehead or whatever, and she'd be like, "Oh, you think I'm beautiful?" It's like, we just insulted you. We just insulted you. But it's like people have selective hearing. They hear, like you said, what they want to hear, just to give them an excuse to go at you. And I don't know where all this combativeness comes from. And I really do think, though, like I said earlier, that it just comes from a feeling of powerlessness in other areas of life.
Mm-hmm.
It has to. So if you can't be powerful or conquer something in one area, then you figure how I'm gonna at least conquer this damn conversation. I guess that's what it is. Whether I'm gonna make my point, whether it's right or wrong. So.
Oh yeah, especially when you see the conversation is just wrong, and they won't admit it's wrong. And even when you give up, that's a clue. You give up. It's like, okay, whatever you say is right. You win. You got it right. Even though you know it's wrong, you just want them to stop. Nope. No. I don't think you're listening to me. No, I don't think you're listening to me.
I've done that so many times, and surprisingly with men. I'm like, you know how they say they don't like to argue with women and they don't like to argue all day? Oh my God. I'd be like, you know what? Nigga, you right. Damn. Just to end the argument, you right. Shit. This is too long of a damn argument. I got stuff to do. It's like I was like, we can't keep going around in circles all day to keep emphasizing the same point of the argument. It's really terrible. It's like, who has time for all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, the guys are catching up to it. Used to be that no guy can out-argue a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, I give up. I can't take it anymore. You win. Okay. No, I don't believe you. And then they get into argument about you agreeing with them.
Yeah.
You just agreeing with me to shut me up. Yeah.
I know. I'll apologize and everything. Yeah, I'm sorry. You right. Even if they wrong, you right. Okay, let's go on with the day, please. Because some of this stuff just be getting ridiculous. But it's just people are not effective at conversation. They're not good at speaking. They're not good at listening. Unless, not as a sidebar here. As far as conversation, one of the things that upsets me about our sector of YouTube is that the people on here using words that they don't even know how to use properly and don't know the definition of. They might have heard somebody else say it. And so everybody's repeating that same word. Oh my God, that's embarrassing as well. It's a pet peeve of mine. People using words incorrectly.
Yeah.
It's really terrible.
Yeah. I was trying to use,
so bad, but I don't want to be that person,
Oh, yeah. Okay, man, you brig. Okay. It's not you, it's me, huh? Okay. Yeah.
Anything to end an argument, I don't care no more. I don't like to argue, man. I really don't. Like, damn, I did it. Damn, I'm guilty. Shit. Can we go on with the day, please? It's taking too long.
Yeah, but I'm trying to work on that because I've been, looking up words for words. Wait. Been using this word entirely too much. Yeah, I was like, okay, let me see if I can find another word for that. I was actually looking for another word for swirling. I was like, I'm getting tired of that word.
Well, since that's a word or a euphemism that's been invented, I mean, it's not really too many words unless you make up your own word for it.
Yeah, yeah. And
Oreoing, zebraing. I don't know. What else could you could you do?
let's see. Um, yeah, we use that. Somebody's gonna be like, they're using hate speech.
That's
They calling
racist.
me. Oh
That's
yeah,
racist.
yeah,
Shut up.
yeah. Because one time I was talking about Oreos.
Uh-huh.
There was a little mixed race couple. I wasn't even seeing them. I was fixated on the Oreos, and
They
I was like,
delicious.
and I was like, and I was like, you didn't even think to offer me a Oreo cookie, and then you had double stuff. You know, I was just going on and on and on, and they huffing and puffing over there, and I'm like, what's going on with you? And they get mad. Hey, go report
Like,
me.
yeah, damn, I'm talking about the cookie.
It's like
You think y'all that important?
they think you was deliberately talking about Oreos because of them. Oreos? What Oreos got to do with them? That's how fixated I was on the cookie. I was like, what the Oreo got to do with them? Dang, Frankie, the black and white couple. What? Wait a minute. Wouldn't it be a black black couple if it's an Oreo? I don't see her with a matching set of dudes. She's not going with the twins and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, it's just her and one dude. How Oreo got into this? But I got reported. It was in high school. I got reported to the principal, and I had to pull out my hidden stash of Oreos to prove it. That was not talking about them. I was talking about Oreos.
I'm laughing because you had a hidden stash.
Well, yeah, I had like 3 Oreo cookies in a bag. My mom was rationing out my Oreo cookies, and I was talking to a cousin who came with you know how they used to have the travel roll on the box, and he owed me some Oreos from the last time I brought some, so I was
Wait a
trying to
minute.
remind him.
Y'all
Hey,
making Wait a minute. Y'all making transactions with Oreos? Were y'all using them like poker chips? I mean, how did this work? Anyway, go ahead with your story. Go ahead with it.
oh, okay. So yeah, you know, so I was reminding him about, hey, you remember I shared my Oreos with you when I didn't have to. So now that you got roll here, I need you to pay up and give up some of them Oreos.
This is a good story because it's full of like bartering with Oreos, extortion. Good Lord.
Oh yeah. You see, I was coming off a diet. When I come off a diet, that means I'm free to eat all my sweets. Yeah, I still had 3 Oreos, but it was 3. I told you she was rationing them to me. She took me off my diet, but not off the sweets. So the only way I could have got some more Oreos, because she cut off my supply. She threatened my grandfather. My grandfather's store. I work in his store, and so she cut off my supply. You know.
Wow. So you had the black market Oreos then.
Yeah. So when I saw somebody who said, the next time I got some Oreos, I'm gonna hook you up. Because he was going through his thing a while back. So when he comes like, hey cousin, we're not cousin. Hey cuz, I see you got some Oreos. They're not for me. They got your name on it. You can see my name on that box way over there? Yeah, I saw the Oreos. Saw the name on the Oreos. So, you know what I'm here for? I don't want the whole box because actually the person owed me a whole box. I just want a few extra Oreos. About 3 or 4. I was cool.
Y'all was serious about y'all Oreos. I tell you that
When
much.
when you come off a diet and you couldn't have no sweets, and all around you, our school was having candy sale, cookie sale, all your favorite snacks and stuff like that. Trust me, you negotiate. I am a girl who jumped over a table because some nasty little white boy stuck his finger in his nose and stuck it in the middle of my cinnamon roll that I was saving for last after coming off a 3-month near starvation diet. I jumped over the table to get him. I saw my old teacher from when I was a kid. I said, I can't remember. Was that in your class I did that? He said, oh, yes. He said, I surprised the heck out of him. He didn't know I could move that fast, let alone jump over a table.
Yeah, that'd have been a 5-day suspension for me, plus in-school suspension, maybe expulsion if somebody would have done that to me. I understand that right there. Yeah.
Yeah, nasty little white boy. Yep. Stuck his finger in his nose because I kept telling him, no, I'm going to eat my cinnamon roll. I just was saving it for last. I was just going to savor it, take my time. As Gabriel Iglesias said, I was about to get nasty with it.
So you had plans for this cinnamon roll.
And it was a big one, homemade cinnamon rolls, these big ice dripping, heavy cinnamon flavored baked cinnamon rolls. Oh yeah, he lucky he's alive because I was choking him. I was choking him and slamming him in the floor. They had to pull me off of him. It took 2 male teachers to pull me off of him. Black male teachers, no flimsy little skinny white man. No, 2 black male teachers had to pull me off the little skinny white boy who stuck his boogery finger in my cinnamon roll.
Now I see you're still very upset about this incident, but we're getting completely off topic. I see you've been traumatized. It's like war. What do you call it? PTSD from this incident, apparently.
Oh yeah.
But where were we on the topic though? Or are you ready for a break or the next topic?
I think we're ready for the next topic because we went off. I went off topic and we had our little break. Everybody probably hungry for cinnamon rolls right about now.
Or Oreos.
Okay, our last topics is: are they good dudes because they got money? Okay, we've been hearing about high value men, good men, but we noticed the good men they talking about are the so-called 6-figure dudes, a rich dude, high value dude, or high income dude. So they made to ask the question: are these the good dudes because they got money? Or are they good dudes who just happen to have money? But but to me, it seemed like, because I noticed with one conversation, they started off good. They were talking about how value men, and they started talking about the blue collar dude. Then they just dropped the blue collar dude completely, and they start talking about these 6-figure dudes, these high value dudes, whatever they want to call them, and that they are the good men. And they try to make us feel like we're not worthy of them because we don't meet a certain criteria. I'm be like, you talking for the dude? Can he just say, hey, I'm sorry, you're not my type, and move on to the next woman? Why I gotta go through all kind of hoops and twist and turn? Yes, I know it sounds bad. Yeah, I'm gonna get in shape and I'm gonna be nice looking, all that stuff. But it's gonna be for me, not for to get some dude. But I did notice they didn't say anything more about the blue collar dude. To me, the blue collar dude is better than the six figure nigger. Blue collar guys are always working, even when they get laid off. They on job 2 or 3. Some of them have 2 jobs, full time and part time. You know, but they're
Exactly.
working. A lot of blue collar dudes are handy with tools, know how to do, if not everything on the car, something on the car. They can change the tire, change the oil, let you know if it's the battery or something, give you a jump.
Exactly.
I'm like, let's see. And all during this pandemic, I've been seeing blue collars putting in work because they don't have to go to their other job and they still getting paid. They were able to relax. That first week, I hardly saw anybody. It's like they were resting up. And then that next week, since they so used to working, I saw them all over the place, fixing fences, fixing houses, clearing out yards, working on cars, that they had been sitting there because they working all the time. They hadn't really had time to really get into it because they're so tired. They have maybe a weekend off. 1 day out of the week off. So, getting together to work on family houses. Family houses that needed to be torn down years ago was down in a month. In a month. 2 years, I saw this family house slowly being torn down. In a month. All the men who part of that family house went there and they took that sucker down. I was like, one day I'm driving, okay, I see they taking down. Next day it's gone. Whoa, that's some movement for your behind. Yeah. So I was like, that's why I was making fun of the so-called six figures dudes, because I said, no black woman's gonna see you over these dudes out there in yards doing yard work, fixing cars, fixing fences, fixing houses. In fact, sometimes the wife would send them, or the girlfriend or their woman would send them to the stores just to get peace from around the house, because they're making such a racket working on the houses, they can't get no sleep.
Well, might I say, for one, number one, that was very impressive because you barely took a breath. And I hear what you're saying. And to answer that question, though, about the money making somebody a good guy, don't they say that money is the root of all evil? So how could somebody be good just because they have money? And money doesn't bring happiness as well. We all know that. You can have all the money in the world and still be a miserable person, and hence that would transfer to anybody that you seek to be in a relationship with. If you're miserable with money and you get in a relationship, you're just gonna make that other person miserable. I don't think that's gonna make you happier. And so just looking for somebody with six figures, what is that gonna do if that person is like a creep or like just a dirtbag that cares nothing about you or about money? Now, if they're a good person and they just happen to have money, that's one thing. But money shouldn't be the first thing you look for. You should look to be comfortable and to be able to pay for the bills, that you have or whatever. But just to be living some extravagant lifestyle to think that that's gonna be the key to all the happiness in life, that's just unrealistic. And like you said, you got these hardworking guys, got their tool belts, working on stuff, making stuff happen. The ones that you can see immediate, tangible things from. Because I love to have a dude around. I love guys that can fix things and work on things. I can do it myself, but I'd rather have somebody else do it. I'm telling you that much. Yeah, it's all well and good, that if I have to do it, yeah, I'll do it because I have to. But if I got somebody else to do it, I'm happy as a damn clam.
Yeah.
I really am. I don't have to get my ass out there. I don't be sweating. I don't have to get dirty. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
We golden. And a person just being a good person being considerate to me, being honest, not a cheater, not a beater. That's a good guy to me. He don't have to be the rich man. He don't have to be rich.
Exactly.
Now we got to put that on a T-shirt. Not a cheater, not a beater. That's good. I like that. I like that. Let me jump in here real quick, ladies.
Go
This
ahead.
again. This is the language of irresponsible men. You don't hear Chinese men talking about who's a six-figure Chinese man or a high-value Chinese man. You don't hear no other races of men talking like. You don't hear no white men talking about who's a six-figure white man and who's a high-value white man. You don't hear this. So you only hear this from Negroes. And the reason why you hear it is because they don't have anything. They are irresponsible. These guys want to run around until they're 90 years old and not have to be accountable for anything. They want to be able to. I heard one fool say that he want to have his pick of the litter until the day he go to his grave. Like he's never going to age one day. He's never going to become one day older. And that's pretty much what this is all about. They don't have nothing else. They're too cowardly to fight for anything that's going to improve us. So what do? They create all of these fictitious factions. They create this rhetoric to hide their irresponsibility and to hide them not being held accountable for anything. You think about it. If you're so appalled about what they're saying, then you're not focused on the fact that they're not being accountable in their communities, that they're not doing anything in the community. You're not paying attention to the fact that they haven't done anything to improve the community or to help our children. So you're not paying attention to that because you're so appalled and so repulsed by this crap they're talking about. And that's exactly what they want you to focus on. They want you to focus on this bullshit rhetoric so you don't have to hold them accountable for not being responsible men.
And you know what? Another thing that must be noted, they talk about six figures or whatever. So you feel like you have to buy a person's affections? You can't gain their affection or their loyalty or their caring for you on your own merits. You have to have six figures. What does that say? It just says that you're not worth nothing as a person, but if I have money, I can buy somebody who will pretend as if they want to be with me.
As a person who has money, as a well-to-do man who has money, six figures is hardly anything to brag about anymore. Right. You need a hell of a lot more money than that. I don't know what world they live in what country they live in. Six figures, you may be okay in some areas, but in a lot of areas, man, you're going to be falling far short. Especially with these housing prices now and taxes on everything. And a lot of them are probably in debt if they have that kind of money. I doubt if they even have that kind of money because most men with money don't sit up here bragging about it.
Right.
A lot of guys with money, you don't even know they
put anybody down who makes that money, but you can even, what about that you get with a woman and you're not making that, you can still work toward that goal for your family. That's perfectly fine. But just that you have to have that and telling these guys this, so they can basically pimp women out, that's
right.
And irresponsible.
And there's a difference between making six figures and having six figures in the bank.
Right.
Two completely different things.
Yep.
Okay. See, you can make six figures all you want, but how much do you have in the bank? What's in that bank account? You got six figures there too? A lot of these guys who claim to have make six figures don't have that in the bank. A lot of them are in debt, and I don't think that I don't want to judge people, but I highly doubt that most of these guys are really making that kind of money. They don't sound like they're making that kind of money.
They don't, but you can say anything online. You can do anybody and say anything.
Like I said, I have money. I make good money, and the guys that I know I'm around, they don't talk about money, man. Most guys that got real money you don't even know they have it.
Right.
They don't even want you to know they have it. So sitting on live streams and posting about it, stuff like that's kind of like a red flag. Like maybe this person is broke.
I thought
maybe this Yeah, and maybe this YouTube gig is all this person got. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't put too much stock in what these guys say online. Like you said, on YouTube, you can be anything you want. You
Yeah.
know, so and then, but when you put their feet to the fire about what needs to be done in the community and how come we're not getting better as black people, they have no answers for that because they don't want to be held accountable because they're supposed to be the leaders of our society. Other races of men are handling their business, but when it comes down to black men, they aren't doing shit. But this right here is jumping on live streams, arguing with women, talking about how much they're six figures in high value. That's their claim to fame. That's their claim to prosperity.
Yeah, well, just like Emmanuel Briggs say, they six figure, but they on YouTube all day. Really?
Exactly. Again, like I said, it's one thing making it; it's another to have it in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And those with money know what I'm talking about. You could make six figures. I know people who've made more than that and had almost nothing in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and it's not a mismanagement of money either. It's just certain
It's hard to
things.
save.
Right?
I got
Exactly.
that
It's
with you.
right. And the IRS gets on your ass. The more money you make, the IRS on your ass like you're a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on your ass like you a goddamn John Dillinger. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's not easy having a lot of money. People think it's cookies and cream. Oh, I'm gonna make $1 million. I'm gonna walk around here and buy everything I want. Nah, it don't work that way.
Yeah, if you
It
can't
don't
find,
function.
even if you make that much, if you can't find a bunch of tax cuts and tax breaks and all that stuff
Yeah,
and expenses so that you don't owe a bunch of money, it's not gonna work out well for you. So I
yeah. Like
mean, yeah,
guys can tell you, right? Like you see, women should get slick on them. Be like, okay, you make six figures. How much you got in the bank? What's in your bank account? Because that's what counts.
you're right.
Yeah, what's in the bank account? Like I said, you can make six figures all you want, but what's in the bank account?
Yeah, because if that's coming in, but it's all going right back out, then you might as well say that you are insolvent. I mean, you're not really making nothing.
I mean, you got a lot of people that make six figures right now, right? And got like 12 G's in the bank. That's it. Some a little bit more than that. You have some that manage their money better, and they have somewhere around 60,000. Okay.
That's a lot to have in the bank to me.
Yeah, about 60,000 out of that 100 grand. Okay, but a lot of people that I've seen in that high bracket that makes that kind of money, shit, they barely have 15, 20 grand in the bank. You're talking about mortgages, you're talking about kids.
Yeah.
You're talking about, I mean,
a lot of people are happy to have maybe like 2 grand in the bank, just to have in savings because it's hard to save these days. There's always something coming up.
And like I said, it depends on what's in that bank account. So ladies, don't get fooled or get caught up with these guys talking about, well, I make six figures. That don't mean anything. What's in the bank account? Mm-hmm. That's where it's at. You can make six figures.
On meeting somebody, you don't ask what they have in their bank account. They want to lead with their money, like that's going to make them more attractive as a person, and it's just not. It really isn't.
You can meet a dude making six figures, but only got 4 figures in the bank.
If he's a piece of shit, I don't care if he got 6 figures in the bank. I'm not going to deal with him.
Well, that's no that's a whole other argument because you can't be a gentleman anymore because if you do, you're a simp. Mm-hmm. You can't be a good guy because if you're a good guy, you're weak. Right. Okay. So you pretty much, if you're a gentleman and you are a good guy, a decent guy, right? Mm-hmm. You have nothing to offer women. Nothing. But if you're a piece of crap, and you on YouTube, pretend to be cartoon characters, and you got all of this so-called fictional money and things like that. Oh, you have everything to offer women.
Yeah. No,
you're disrespect. Right.
In
You're,
their simple little minds, that's the case, but that's not the
right.
case. Not in reality.
You see, the wool has been pulled over our eyes, right? So good guys who are mannered, who have respect, who have some decency about themselves. And it isn't even about um um what you've been taught, right, as a young boy. But as a grown man, if you decide that you want to have some couth and some dignity, some class, okay, that's nothing. You don't have nothing to offer women. If you don't want to call women bees or call them out of their name, you want to address them in a respectful manner, right? You don't have nothing to offer them. But if you calling them hoes and strags and bees and all kinds of other filth that comes out of your mouth, right? You're telling them that you want them to submit. You're saying that you make six figures that nobody can verify, and you doing all of these things. That is what women want. That's the guy that has everything to offer black women, according to these guys here on YouTube. The gentleman and the good guy has nothing to offer women. Matter of fact, that's the wrong kind of dude. You should choose better.
Yeah. It's just silly. They're like I said, they're rationalizations for stuff and what somebody should and shouldn't be choosing. They obviously have no life experience. Just like I said, listened to a live stream the other day, where somebody was playing back stuff that they were saying, and this dude was quoting everything and using analogies from every movie he could think of. He didn't use nothing from real life. He has no life experience. He's thinking about what he saw on TV and trying to apply that to real life. Real life ain't fairy tales. It ain't fantasy, ain't the movies. Things don't happen like you think they should happen. And you don't find people right away and have these romantic, getaways and fall badly in love. Stuff don't happen like that. This is real life. It's brutal. It's honest. It'll, throw you for a loop. You just got to do the best you can in navigating the things and learn along the way. That's as far as I see it. I mean, that's how I see it. So, these people getting on here like life coaches talking about who's a man or a better man because they got money, all that stuff is all BS, and people shouldn't listen to that crap.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 35, 40 years old talking about you need a dating coach or a life coach, man, you may as well go sit this one out. Just go on to the bench. You know what I'm saying? Say, coach, take me out. I mean, your game is shot at that point.
Do like they do in wrestling. Yeah. Tap out, man.
Whatever. Tap out. Go down to the old folks home and hope one of them old ladies pick you up or something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go befriend an old lady at the old folks home because your game is shot.
Get you an old sugar mama with a good pension or something.
a six-figure sugar mama, right? Yeah.
Shit. Get Apple ass, and get on her insurance, her life insurance, shit. Yeah. A beneficiary.
Let me ask you this though. What if you found out, okay, I tell the guy, listen, if you're going to pay a dating coach, okay, fine. That's your money, whatever. But you better not let the woman you trying to date find out that you going to a dating coach.
Right? She going to be like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
and he need a dating coach.
Yeah, so imagine if you dated this guy named Bronson, and Bronson seems to have all of the moves and whatnot, right? You say, wow, Bronson, you seem to be a nice man. Oh, thanks. It's that extra money I pay from that dating coach. Okay, what happens to the date? Now, what turn does the date take at that point?
I'll be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll leave. That's my excuse for everything. I gotta. I'm like, he got to be a dating coach. I mean, what happened in previous days? What happened in previous days that he need a coach? I mean, is this somebody sitting in the bathroom, the men's bathroom, with a microphone, like with an ear thing, telling them what to say? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this is weird.
Nah, because they usually. I saw one movie where they had him wired up, and he had like that piece in his ear.
Yeah.
And he could talk. Yeah. You know, so he was sitting back watching, and then he could tell him in his ear what to say and what to do.
What I was thinking.
Wait,
Oh my
like
goodness.
the movie?
Yeah, like Hitch. Hitch, yeah, that was in the movie Hitch. Yeah.
It seems like if you're being coached, they're telling you not to be yourself, to be something else. So what happens after maybe they pull this woman? And they figure, okay, well, I got the woman, I don't need a dating coach anymore, and then their actual self comes out. And it's like some weirdo, you know?
You know, I wonder, we should do a show on that. How do women really feel about dating coaches, and do they think dating coaches help guys, and would they encourage a guy to go to a dating coach?
And I don't necessarily think it'd be something wrong, but I think you'd have to work on yourself as a person first before you sought out a dating coach, because you'd have to be secure in yourself and happy with yourself and a decent person first. And if you're just awkward, and then you say, hey, I don't know how to talk to women, or I don't know how to talk to men, what should I do? But if you're like some kind of weirdo or some kind of mean person, or just really degenerate, and then you just go to a dating coach, it's not going to work out well in the end. No, it's just not.
My thing is. Right. See, my thing is, as long as you don't have psychological problems, like you're not a nutcase or a sociopath or some kind of homicidal maniac or some crap like that, and you're just a little awkward. I think awkward is okay, because awkward can find awkward.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody for everybody. I'm telling you, some of the couples I've seen over the years bug you out. I've seen paraplegic couples, I've seen midget couples, I've seen two couples that were really skinny, I've seen two couples that are really fat, almost the same shape. I mean, there's somebody for everybody. If you are awkward, you can find, if a guy's awkward, you can find an awkward female.
Right.
There's plenty of them out there. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, you just got to make sure your mental is stable. You're not some crazy, you keep a dead cat in the freezer. You've been living in your mom's basement too long. You try to put two pairs of shoes on the same foot. Something like that, right? If you ain't tripping like that, and you just a little awkward or something like that, you can find somebody that's a little awkward just like you.
Yeah, because if you're a nasty human being, like these people, some of these guys and women on YouTube,
well, you can find a little nasty
human being, and you're just a person. You just got something wrong with you like that, and you're traumatized or can't let go of stuff. A dating coach is not going to help. You have to get those resolved first.
Exactly. That's why I said mental. Yeah. You got a mental problem, emotional problem. Then you need to get some help first. Right. But if you're a funky, nasty person, that's fine. You can find another funky, nasty person. Yeah. There's plenty of them out here.
I've seen them.
I walked past a couple men that smelled so bad, I thought somebody punched me in the back of the head.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I know. Seriously. I was coming out the grocery store. Well, this man, every time it seemed like he met me in the damn aisle. He was stinking so bad. I thought somebody was boiling onions up in there. It was so
I'm telling you, man. I done seen out here to try. I done seen funky, fat, slobby couples. So nasty and funky ain't a problem. You can, if you nasty and funky, you can find a nasty and funky. I'm sorry, but you can.
You can.
You can. You spit in your minds, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You just
and people like to delude themselves into thinking that, I should be able to get anybody, and people shouldn't look at looks and all that stuff. That's delusional. And there is such things as being in a certain league, not maybe officially, but you know, if you like 4'11" and you 300 pounds and stuff, don't think you're gonna get somebody, a woman that you consider a dime, unless she a chubby chaser. She might like you. I don't know.
Well,
But you gotta go. You gotta kind of stay in your lane. That's what people need to realize. That.
well, you can get a 4'11", 300-pound dime. It's just gonna be bigger than. Yeah, it's
Well,
just gonna be bigger than the normal dime, but
yeah, that's his lane.
Yeah.
That's his lane. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
People need to realize that and quit being deluding themselves into thinking that everybody has to accept everything. No,
I
people,
see,
that's
yo,
not how it works.
I seen that one time too. These two are like little couples, right? And it was like pudgy, and the dude had like a funny walk, and she had the same funny walk. And they walked together with a little funny walk, wobbling back and forth. I was like, look at those two. I thought it was cool though. You know what I'm saying? It looked funny, but it was cool. I mean, he found somebody, that fit his. He was a little wobbling, pudgy dude. He found a little wobbling, pudgy girl.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And they wobbled,
right?
And they happily wobbled around in society. See, all you gotta do is just not be crazy.
Right.
Make sure your mental is straight, your emotions straight. Other than that, man, I mean, it's fair game out here. Yeah. It's so much variety. You got nasty human beings, fat, pudgy human beings. You got pot belly motherfuckers. I've seen pot belly women.
Mm-hmm.
With pot belly niggas. I mean, it's just somebody for everybody. So,
don't strive above yourself. That's what some people seem to do, though. And then they get upset because the people that they want don't want them. I mean, you can't get mad.
I think the reason why people go above and out of their range is because they're not looking for happiness. Right. They're looking for sex. They're looking for some kind of status. That's when you get yourself in trouble, man. Mm-hmm. When you're looking for happiness, you're going to find somebody that fits you if you're looking for happiness.
Right.
If you want that other shit, then you're going to go out of your lane. Mm-hmm. You're going to go out of your lane because you're not looking for the right things. You're going to end up in a lane where you're not wanted or you can't keep up. I've seen... I've seen couples with matching Coke rim bottle glasses, Yeah. I've seen people, and I think it's cool because they found their happiness. Some of them make me laugh because they look funny and shit, but hey, I respect that. They found their little happiness. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's what it's about.
It's ugly, but it's cute.
Right, yeah.
You'd be like, oh, look at them.
Like if he got this huge big nose, he found a girl with a huge big nose. I don't know how they're gonna kiss with those noses like that, but they're fine.
They find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they find a way. You know what I'm saying?
And I've seen the occasional odd couple where the pot belly girl found a Slim Jim guy. A happy couple.
I've seen the opposite. Yo, I've seen the opposite.
And his wife,
a pot belly dude. Yeah, kind of like a Bluto and olive oil type thing. I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah. And she be a long, lanky thing too, boy. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a spaghetti and whatnot, just wiggling all over everything. And he looked like a big hamburger. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
And be holding hands in love.
Yeah. And they happy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? A lot of that time, sometimes it's all about not having a nasty attitude.
That's right.
If you present a good personality, somebody might not mind all that.
Oh, but I'm glad you brought that up. I want y'all to answer this question. Y'all two women. Okay. Some people don't understand why some guys, right, who they think aren't very handsome can get these really fly women. These really fly looking women. Okay? Mm-hmm. Can y'all kind of like answer that question? Tell them, well, I got my reasons why a guy that may not be the best looking dude, but end up with some beautiful looking woman. I got my reasons why. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Well, why y'all think that is?
I know for a fact it's because they exude confidence.
Mm-hmm.
They have good hygiene. They either are funny, can have good conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and are just very polite and very considerate of women. And they treat every woman they meet like that. And those guys like that tend to be very attractive
Mm-hmm.
to women.
Yeah.
And they're not selfish. They're not selfish at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
So
much
you
the
say,
same thing.
so you saying a guy who may not look handsome by society standards or whatever,
Mhm.
that women, beautiful women, may not even be paying attention to society standards when it comes down to meeting a guy,
No,
or
because
evaluating.
they're weighing out their options. Hey, do I want to be happy with a good guy, or do I want to jerk with money? I mean, if you have to decide, and depending on what point you are in your life, you're gonna probably choose that guy, that good guy. That he probably has a decent job or whatever. He might not make six figures, but hey, y'all can do it together. If your happiness is more important, I guess I should say that you have to decide which is more important to you.
Mm-hmm.
If that's more important
Okay.
is to a lot of women, then they'll choose that guy, because I've seen that too.
Okay, so flip it around, right? Now you got the handsome guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
With what society thinks is an ugly woman.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's going on there?
He probably thinks that looks are not all there is to a woman, and she has more to offer, just like that guy that we just spoke about. She has
Mhm.
more to offer, and then and probably that she's not gonna. Maybe somebody else can have even more money than him, and if it's a really attractive woman, she has more options, and she can just leave him too, or she just might leave him for somebody uglier with money.
You know, I had a woman and a guy tell me the same thing,
See?
but about the opposite sex, right?
Yeah.
One guy told me it's easy to love an ugly woman, and a woman told me it's easy to love an ugly man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then after a while, they don't look ugly anymore. It could start started off conversation, sense of humor. You enjoy being with them, and you think, okay, he's not too bad. He's nice. He is sweet. And then it's just he started looking more and more attractive until the point where you don't know why you ever thought he was ugly.
Yeah.
Right, you know what?
Their
And I
other
think they
qualities
mean
make them more attractive.
right,
Yeah.
and I think they mean what Bell just said, right? Like the woman says, it's easy to love an ugly man, right? Because he's like what Bell described. He treats her like a woman. He's respectful. He's not selfish. He's got confidence. He's got all these things going on. So I guess that makes it easier for her to love him, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's and when you have all this so-called high value stuff out here, all these six-figure niggas and stuff who really don't seem to be with any women.
Well, and then to clarify though, I'm not saying that women should just settle for any old bum because he's a nice guy either. He has to be doing something with himself. If she's on her grind doing something, he's got to be doing something as well. Let's get that straight. She can't she can't be carrying him.
I think in this day and age, it's a shame that has to be said. Because a man this is supposed to be automatic with a man. This is supposed to be something that's instilled at childhood.
Well, I'm not. I'm not saying that for the men though, because you'll get these women on here though talking about, oh, I'm not dealing with struggle love. Ain't nobody talking about struggle. We talking about a decent man that's made. He might be a blue collar guy, or he might make $50,000-$60,000 a year, and you make your decent money. Y'all still can get together. I mean, that's not a problem.
What struggle love?
Well, that's a little term that they seem to say that, like, basically, I don't know, y'all can barely pay the bills, and he might be working and stuff, but he don't make much, and you working. I don't know what the total definition is, but they seem to call anything a lot of times with a black man struggle love. So,
yeah. Well, what you got to do with that is that you got to work together. Two heads,
right.
A team is better than one. If y'all in that situation, just work together. Y'all both might have to work for a while. You know what I'm saying? To make ends meet, to make things comfortable for yourselves.
Yeah. But if he's striving his hardest to advance and do something, so maybe you don't have to do that, then that's fine too. But until he can do that, and he's on it and working at that, then I don't see nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't have all these requirements like that. If you can't be like somebody who's not worked in like 5-10 years. Forget that. That ain't happening. Bye.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Say you're in a relationship, right? And you don't have to work. He's paying the bills. He's paying everything. But say y'all don't have cable and you want cable. But in order to get the cable, you have to go take a side job.
I do it.
Would you leave the relationship?
No, I take the side job just to get cable. You don't have to work. I would, if I felt like he was working hard, and it depends on what he did. If he was working hard, and say he was tired all the time coming home, but I knew he was working and he was doing everything he was supposed to do, I would take if he told me, oh, you don't have to work or whatever, I think I would take a job just to make it easier on him. Even just a part-time job. Just to relieve him from something. I can pay a few of the bills. What's wrong with that?
Nah, some people don't see it that way. They see it as the man is supposed to do everything, and for the most part, he is supposed to provide.
Right.
But I think in some cases that's kind of hard given the circumstances of what's going on out here now. Like you said, he's already working hard. He's pulling overtime, and the money still ain't enough to stretch. And if the woman gets a part-time job, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Or it's not that not him. Say it's not that he's working hard, working overtime, and the money is still not there. It's not that fact. It's even if he might be working overtime and we're comfortable making enough money, but say for instance he's not able to spend time with the family, not spend time with kids or whatever. I would rather work a part-time job so he could have extra time, so he wouldn't have to work all that overtime. You know what I'm saying? So
wow, you're not supposed. Wait a minute.
It just makes sense.
Aren't you a black woman, Belle?
Yeah, I have been all my life, as far as I know.
Wait a minute, you're not supposed to sound like that. You're supposed to be mean and
I'm logical.
Hateful.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Black women aren't supposed to sound like that.
I could be wrong and stuff like that, or my perception is a little off. But I never known a time when black women did not work a job.
Exactly.
Even part-time, or even the grandmas in our day, even if they didn't work in the beginning, because they had the kids to take care of, the house to take care of, but once them kids got out of the house, they worked. They might have been taking care of somebody's kids, somebody's parents, maybe doing a little like housework. Are they working for the school? Because grandmas can cook, and and stuff like that. So when it's like, so to me, the rarity is a black woman who did not have to work. You know, if she weren't working in her house or or their land or whatever the situation, she was working in the church, working in the community, working in her house. And then when the kids are out and she don't have to work as much to keep the house up, she work a little part-time job, or her community service turn into a job with pay, or she take care of somebody's parents, usually white people, or somebody's kid, or do a little house cleaning.
Well, you know what? It is actually ideal that the mom does not have to work. Okay. That's the ideal, but in
Mhm.
our community, that's usually not the case, So, we have to. We would love to not be able to work and to just be home and take care of our kids or homeschool them or whatever.
Mhm.
But that's just not how it works usually, especially not us. And there are a few, um, there are some Black women that don't have to work, but there's not a whole lot of them. We would love that to be the case, but you got to just kind of deal with reality.
Yeah.
What's the number one side hustle job for black woman? I say it's cashier. What y'all say?
Oh, yeah, that would probably be easy to because I've done that for like a part-time
Yeah,
job.
I know a lot of sisters
Yeah,
that did cashiers, boy.
yeah,
A lot of them.
it's easy.
Sales
Mm.
associate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get them at any grocery store chain. Just
Or
walk in
a
for
clothes
application.
store.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. The cashier.
But you know
You know.
what? I was just saying, like, when my mom and dad were together, my dad had a really good job, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but still, she would go and like clean these old people's houses and stuff around the neighborhood she can get, or she'd babysit kids or whatever for have her own little cash,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of alleviated um some of the costs on my dad to get certain things. So she just go without him and get groceries. She'd have to wait till he get his paycheck or whatever like that. I guess that's where I learned it from. I just I saw that stuff as I was younger, how my mom did it and my dad together, and it just kind of stuck with me. So if you're able to see that kind of thing and how Black families usually work or have worked, then you kind of take that with you as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cause as I was saying, when y'all was talking, I was like, I never known, um, uh, or a few exceptions. Then it's for a short period of time that Black women did not work. If they weren't
Yeah.
married, they were working until they were married, or they were working in the house, or some of them family businesses, and stuff like that. When the kids got older, like they graduate and they're going out into the world, they start working.
Yeah.
Um, or their work became part of the community. And shucks, there's one now. Her husband's a farmer. He's retired. I think because physically he can't farm like he used to.
Mm-hmm.
And she was doing like volunteering at the hospital, visit the patient, all the older people and stuff like that. And then when she needed to make a little income, they hired her to work in what's the little store section in the hospital where they have all the little gifts and all that other stuff. She works there, and she still volunteer.
Uh-huh.
And nothing of the husband has land. He just I found out later he just don't work in himself anymore. You know, he's more supervisory. Never been supervisor, so that's a little weird, I thought.
Yeah.
But apparently he been getting a lot of calls lately on how to do your own garden. And he's been walking they're his grandsons. He's a great grandpa now. His grandsons through doing your own garden, because his grandson got in his head like, look, things ain't looking right. and stuff like that. If I go too much longer without working, we might not be able to eat. And so, while I'm able to, let me like do a garden. It's like, Papa, I can't remember all the stuff we did and stuff like that, but I cleared the land. And the next thing, there's grandfather talking and say, okay, I'm coming over. You're gonna do the hard work, and I'm just gonna tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that
You
was
know
fun.
what? I was just thinking, in all actuality, back to that about the women, Black women have worked since we got over to this country. So that's why we don't find it difficult to just jump into that role.
Yeah.
See, it's new for these other races. They may not have had to work, but more of them, it is just a thing now. All women are generally working. The ones I know, it doesn't matter their race at all. But we find it easy, and because we've always done it. It's just been what we done. If it was, it might not have been like some kind of office job or factory. Think about our great grandparents, right? They cleaned people's houses, they did laundry, they did all that stuff. So we're used to it. So we don't find it difficult, and we just find it natural. Okay, well, I'm going to get a job. It would be nice for any woman. They would want to stay at home, but a lot of women in general don't get to do that anymore. So I don't know how we think we're going to just go back to that when we never really had it. And then every other woman is having to work. How are we not going to work as a collective if they're working too?
Yeah, sure. My baby cousin, she stay at home, but she's working from home too. Her job, she's able to work at home. This was before the quarantine shutdown. She was trying to decide whether to do that or not. I said, well, do you think it'd be best for you and the baby if you stay home? Said, yeah, but I need to work. Even though her husband, work things out and they're back together, she's still working from home. And then when the quarantine came in, she said, "Ooh, well, shoot, if I had decided to go the other way, that would have changed it anyhow." But she was all set up. The company paid for it, and she didn't have to wait. So she was like, she never stopped working.
Yeah.
She just did it at home. Certain time of the day, they know that she's clocked off.
So she was already equipped for the work at home thing. She was ahead of the curve with that one. She's already working from home.
Yeah. So while the others had to wait for their stuff, and there was a lot of delay in delivery for a lot of that stuff. So some of them had to use their vacation time. Because amazingly enough, a lot of people do not like to use their vacation time. I know a few men, they have to force him to take his vacation.
They got to make me take mine too. I just don't like to use it because I don't have nowhere to go. I don't really be using it. And they be like, "Oh, you got so and so weeks left, and we got to take them by." I guess I'm gonna take them all in a row. Then they be trying to, so I don't do that though. But yeah.
One day, he was coming in for some overtime. He was always good. They turned him around. He was mad because they made him drive all the way up there. They said, "Well, you weren't answering your phone. We've been calling you since in the morning when we thought you might be up." He was on the road. And he was mad. He said, "They making me take my vacation." Dude, you get paid vacation. That's not the point. And now I have nothing to do.
Yeah. Unless they pay you for ones you didn't take. And if they don't do that, it's usually like you use it or you lose it. So
yeah. But they know him well enough that he'd be willing to lose it. Even though his wife be fussing at him like that. No. They make him, because he makes so much overtime.
Well, if I don't care, I'll take my vacation day. If I'm just sitting in draws all day, I'll be sitting there taking vacation, getting paid for it.
So finally, to give the piece, he would take a week. He would take a week off, and usually, it's a week off to work at another little part-time temporary job, those seasonal jobs. That's just in see well, if you living in the country, there's seasonal jobs that's as kind of labor intense. They just for a certain period of time when a crop come in or whatever. He'll do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the company working for got taken over by another company, and they never canceled his vacation time, nor did they make him take. He was just accumulating vacation time. So he ended up retiring 2 years early because he had accumulated so much vacation time. So technically he retired last year, but because he got so many vacation days and they don't want to pay it to him all at once, they pretty much retired vacation him, and he's getting paid all them vacation years, all the vacation hours.
Yeah, I heard of somebody else was telling me recently they did that too.
So
Well,
I was like, ooh, I said, I need to go work at your company where they roll over your vacation time. They don't make you take it. They don't take it away from you. He said, yep.
yeah.
So there's been a lot of family events. So he been traveling the whole of last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Well, I think we exhausted all the topics. Well, let's end it right here. Do you have any closing remarks on the whole topic range?
What was the first topic again?
The dangers of swirling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. People are gonna do what they want to do, but like I say, it's just not all like somebody said earlier. The grass is not greener on the other side, and some people have to realize that you can see all these little pictures and commercials and all that stuff. That's acting. You're gonna have same struggles or worse in those relationships, so it's not gonna be any better. And then the other topic that we discussed was what?
Are we really fragile?
Oh, yeah. The answer to that is yes. There's reasons for that, but to overcome that thing, that fragility. I mean, you just got to kind of develop yourself. Maybe speak to a counselor or whatever. Practice, on yourself, or just practice speaking with people and in a way that you can be heard, but that you can hear others. And then as far as the money equaling a good guy, I would say that's definitely not the case. And we just got to keep judging each person we meet or engage with individually. Money cannot buy happiness. It can't buy you a good person. It can buy things. It can't buy people. And if you're looking to do that, then there's some other issues that need to be addressed within yourself. But and a good dude can be, the normal everyday person, just like that you meet every day. They just have the good mental quality, just be mentally healthy, a good person as far as striving to do what's right, good to you, improving your life in some way, and you doing the same for them. If y'all can do those things, then you're golden. So I mean, I don't really have much to say. Like you said, we talked it out, and you can talk these subjects to death. But I appreciate everybody listening, and you have me on, Dame Frankie. So good night.
Right. Good night. Thanks, Belle. All right. Okay. The dangers of swirling. She's right. We covered that. The grass is not greener. The other side's not better. Be careful of being fetishized. That's not something to build a relationship on. That is very thin ice. Yeah. And the wrong words, the wrong things will crush it, and you're going to fall through and be a frozen block of ice under the ocean. All right. So, as for are we really that fragile? Yes, it appeared to be to me, but it's something we can work on. If you got some anger issues, yes, you need counseling for your anger issues and stuff like that. Find out what you really mad about and stop taking it out on other people. Don't let everything people say get to you. Sometimes they're really not trying to get to you. You know, it's just that maybe you're a little upset, but hey, you don't let other people control you by letting them make you upset that you ready to look like a crazy person, to win an argument. Okay, or a disagreement. Let's see. Are they good dudes because they got money? No. No, if they not the good dudes because they got money. They good dudes because hey, they should be a good quality dude, not money. Money doesn't mean anything except that they're able to buy things. So if you make money the equivalent of whether a dude is good or not, then you're saying that you can be brought. So no, you don't. He don't have to have money, be a six-figure dude to be a good dude. Now, if he's a good dude who happen to be a six-figure dude, that's great. That's golden. But he ain't good because of the money. He's good in spite of the money. Or he's good dude with a bonus. As all right then. Let me wrap it up because hey, I'll get into story mode. But so everybody, I thank you for coming. Hassan Burton, if you can still hear us, it's good. Nice to see you. Like the soup. Belmont, thank you once again. Manuel Briggs, always insightful. And Kia Grace. Bro Speak, yes, had a lot of insightful stuff too. Auntie. Well, actually, y'all had some pretty good discussions going on down there. I wanted to participate in some of them, but Pretty Black Magic, thanks for coming. Peace and love, Lizzie. Wish you could have came up, but I guess I got lost. Brother Speak. Oh wait, I had Brother Speak down twice. Oh yeah, I seen you twice. All right. And thanks, Ron 314 for coming to visit. All right, y'all have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.